Great. Okay, so where? What state are you in? Idaho.
No, Ohio.
Ohio. And where's Ohio? I will never know. I never know on the map. North, south, east, and west of Illinois, or where? Where is it?
So I'm between Pennsylvania and Illinois.
That's very exciting. Good.
Cleveland. I'm in right on Lake Erie.
Oh, that's nice. And I'm happy to have a lake. Good, darling. I'm happy. Okay. What's the weather like there?
It's gorgeous today. It's beautiful. 70 degrees. Gorgeous.
Vivek. What's Vivek doing there? Vivek. Who are you? Vivek. Show me yourself. Where's Vivek? There he is. Happy to see you, Vivek. Very happy. He's
Thank
in
you,
India.
Vandana.
Like in India.
Yes, Vandana.
What's the weather like?
It is quite hot because it is in the western part of India, so there is a desert there. That's fine.
Okay. Anyway, so it's not bad here and everybody else. Good, everyone's. Okay, let's look at why on earth we should like problems. It sounds very weird. So let's think we're sitting here together for this 90 minutes to look at the logic of this statement, which is a surprise to us. So we think we're here for this reason, to listen. Why are we listening to this? To take advice, to help us why become a more happy, content, fulfilled person. So we're less harmful to others and finally more helpful. Thinking like this, we're going to listen to take tools from this for this reason. Sangye chodan soke chognam la jancho baru dagni kyapsu chi dagi chonyan gibes onan ki drola penche sangye drupa shog sangye chodan soke chognam la jancho baru dagni kyapsu chi Dagi chonyan gibe sonan ki drola penche sangye drupa shog. That's 3 times. 2 times in Tibetan and once in English. Who's that? Hello.
Hi, Nicole.
Nicole.
Yes.
Hello, sweetheart.
Hi.
Okay. It comes back to the same reason every time. It's so boring. I feel like a fraud because I'm going to get caught one day because all I ever do is talk about the same thing. But that's the way the teachings are. What can you do? They're consistent. So why we should like problems like and this is actually a more advanced practice. This is the compassion wing. The first wing, the first level, entry level, junior school, grade 1 is control your body and speech. Then you go to the next level, control your mind. And now we start the really dramatic level of actually continuing to work on our mind. That never changes, But the emphasis is on how to be a more benefit to others. It's within those pieces of advice that this piece of advice comes. It's a more dramatic level of practice. And definitely a more courageous level. So the logical reason within this path for why we should see problems as good is because of attachment. And attachment would go right back to middle school, after you control your body and speech. And what you're doing when you control your body and speech is controlling the servants of attachment and the servants of anger and the other delusions. So it comes right at the beginning. So attachment is this default assumption, this fragile child in us. It's there all the time, so subtle we don't even notice. It's implicit within us. And it's this fragile child that can't bear anything but the nice things. It's a desperate junkie that only can cope with everything being lovely. And of course, who's lovely? Not your lovely, my lovely. So it's a complete junkie in us, totally self-centered. Sounds shocking to hear it. Utterly self-centered, fragile, neurotic, needy, desperate, lonely, bereft part of ourselves. It's called attachment, okay? And it's a junkie and it can only cope with everything being nice. So what it does is cause us to manipulate to get only the nice things. So of course, what happens the millisecond the unnice thing comes up, and it's 1,000 times a day, although we don't notice, then the panic attack of aversion arises. So really attachment and aversion, you could argue in Buddhist view of the mind, among all these 87,000 neurotic states of mind the Buddha talks about, they all subsume to these 2. There's 3 actually, but these are the 2 effectively the problems in our day-to-day life. Everything stems from these. And it almost seems too simple. If we look at the materialist model of the mind, this complicated theories we have, all the mental illnesses and things. This is Buddha's analysis. These are the mental illnesses that he says are the main source of our suffering. They call them mental afflictions. Affliction, that's the word they use in Sanskrit. That's the word they use in Tibetan. We don't use it so much. It's a bit old-fashioned, Affliction. And what kind? Mental. But Buddha doesn't deal with, headaches and knee aches. He deals with mind aches. That's his expertise, So he's saying the main source of our suffering are these mental afflictions, are these mental illnesses, is a lovely, delicious word, mental illnesses. And these two are primordially deep, so primordially deep that when we notice them, we just assume they're a normal part of a normal person. We just take them for granted. We almost don't label them, you know. We just assume they're a normal part of a normal person, give them equal status, along with the nice qualities, love and kindness and patience and perseverance, which aren't neurotic, that aren't needy, that aren't desperate, that aren't fragile, that aren't fear-based. They're reasonable, valid states of mind. In our views, I think in our modern society, psychology models and neuroscience, we give equal status to these, as if a normal person has a little bit of all of these, you know? The Buddha is way more radical. In fact, so radical, it's shocking, we can't even hear it. In fact, if you go to a neuroscientist and say, please give me methods to get rid of all attachment, all fears, all jealousy, all ego, all sense of a separate self, she or he will laugh at you. In fact, we so take them for granted. So this implies Buddha goes to very subtle levels of identifying these states of mind, you know. So you have to start somewhere, identifying at the grossest level. That's why the very first level of practice for the Buddha, you know, is at least control the berserk servants of the mind. And what are the servants of our mind? Our body and our speech. This is not how we think in our culture, you know. We don't think this way. We just think of a little fat, big me plodding through life. We don't divide it up into body, speech, and mind. But this first level of practice is about the body and the speech. Don't worry about your mind yet. Control the servants of your attachment, the servants of your anger, the servants of your jealousy, you know, which is your body and your speech. Why? Because they're the heaviest actions. Why? Because they harm others and therefore harm you. Then doing that action, doing that first, then gets us to begin to notice what drives our body and speech, which is the mind. And that's when we become a Buddhist. You know, Buddha's unique approach. And we learn to identify what's in our mind. And this is really quite difficult. Not because in its nature it's difficult, it's because we don't learn it. You know, from the time we wake up in the morning until the time we go to sleep, look at us. We're completely preoccupied with the object of the senses, aren't we? The second we come into consciousness from sleep, open our eyes, already we're completely involved in the external world. The objects of smell, taste, touch, you know, etc. And that's what preoccupies us all day. So and this is a tragedy in our culture, and we only pay attention to what's happening in here when it's violent, when it's emotional, when the body's shaking. You know. That's the tragedy. And then because we're shaking, we then think I better go to a therapist because we can't cope. This is a total tragedy in our culture, you know. We wait till the wheels fall off before we even think of going to a mechanic. We would laugh at that when it comes to the physical world. Nobody's wheels fall off on the freeway, ever, because you know about mechanics. You check for the wobbles. You check before it gets serious. Nobody goes to the dentist only when their teeth fall out. Nobody goes to the doctors. Well, some might. When you've already seen the signs of ill health. We have preventative. It's a really practical point, you know. We have incredible preventative methods for our houses, our gardens, our roads, our cars, and even our bodies, but not for our mind. We wait till the wheels fall off before we start even noticing what's in our mind. That's our tragedy in our culture. So Buddha's giving us methods. Forget about nirvana, forget about bodhicitta, forget about emptiness, forget about enlightenment. The most practical application of Lord Buddha's methods, you know. If we apply these every day, you could say, literally, logically, that you could learn to navigate your life without ever losing the plot, no matter what happens. Because you're starting to notice what's happening in the mind before it comes to the surface of your body having a panic attack, your body shaking, you know. Either you want to kill somebody or you're having a panic attack. They're the options, isn't it? It's only then. I mean, as a kid, I only knew I was angry when it was out my mouth. I didn't know beforehand. I didn't look at my mind. Another one of my sisters never had anger. So she only she had a mental breakdown 25 years later. Finally, she noticed because her body was shaking. It was too late for both of us, you know. So this is the skill we can learn. To know to control our body and speech and to control our mind. So then we're ready for the more dramatic levels because we become more stable. and more equanimity in our behavior and our mind. Then we're able to really be more strong in our practice. And then we're able to start greeting the problems with a happy mind. In the beginning, you feel like you play safe and keep away from the problems if you can. Avoid them if you can. Stay steady. In the beginning, you learn to stay steady in the face of the problem. And then eventually you learn to greet the problem. And this is a really dramatic level for the bodhisattvas who can't wait to rip out the delusions from their minds, to rip out the mental afflictions from their minds because they're so desperate with so much love and compassion for others, they don't want to be held back from accomplishing this capacity to help others. It sounds extreme. When you read about these great bodhisattvas, you understand, what propels them is their intense compassion for the suffering sentient beings. So give them any opportunity to see their delusions and rip them out, they're so happy. So that's a problem. By definition, a problem is what attachment doesn't want. By definition. So the thing is, what we have to learn to do by being our own therapist, as Lama Yeshe says, is don't wait for the wheels to fall off. Don't wait for your husband to leave you. Don't wait because you want to kill your husband. Don't wait till you have a complete panic attack. Don't wait till then. That's too late. You start noticing the baby events. When the attachment doesn't get what it wants, when the husband slurps his coffee, and the red light instead of green light, the baby events. Like I joke, I say it, but it's serious. If you go to your therapist and say, I got annoyed today because my husband slurps his coffee, she will laugh at you and say, don't waste my time and go home and come back when you want to kill him. That's our problem. So it's like the mechanic saying, don't waste my time fixing your wobbling wheels, come back when they fall off. What a joke. It's a joke, but we don't. That's exactly how we are with our mind. And it's kind of tragic. So we can learn to deal with the baby problems first, the little tiny problems, and at least be calm in the face of them, at least be steady. Don't lose the plot, Already that's profound practice. But there's more advanced level for the bodhisattvas. You learn to greet a problem. You learn to greet, not just be steady in the face of it. You learn to greet the problem. You really are happy to have the problem. And the logic of why is because attachment at that moment is getting what it doesn't want. And because you want to smash attachment and smash aversion and realize emptiness and smash ego so you can be a benefit to others, you are so happy. You're over the moon happy when something bad happens, which sounds like mental illness to us. If you're happy when your boyfriend abuses you and you're happy with the problem, loving it like ice cream, people will think you're mentally ill. But this is the level these bodhisattvas are at, I mean, when you read that, I mean, I had to write this eulogy for Lama Zopa when he passed away, right? And interviewing people about him. And it's almost hard to imagine how a person could be like he was. I mean, he had a stroke, right? In 2011, he had a stroke, okay? And already his evidence of his life was he's an incredible bodhisattva. He didn't sleep, he meditated when he wasn't doing anything. He was extraordinary, And then he was having a stroke in the hospital. And initially, I think the doctors and nurses thought he was mentally ill because he never mentioned the stroke, never mentioned any problem, always looked happy, always looked smiling, as if nothing had changed. So that looks, for us in the world, looks like mental illness, like a poor person doesn't realize. What they start to realize, Venerable Roger said this, he was with him all the time, that people start to see he was an astonishingly high being who used this opportunity of suffering, completely paralyzed down one side, his words coming out like a drunken sailor, as grist for his mill for practice, So if you think about being a Buddhist, what you're doing as a Buddhist, all the way from here to enlightenment, what you're actually doing is stripping away the misconceptions in the mind, stripping away the neuroses, stripping away ego's voices. As Lama Zopa says, all these neuroses, all these afflictions, all these delusions, their job is to decorate on top of what is there, layers upon layers of characteristics that just aren't there. So aversion, which is what happens when attachment doesn't get what it wants, which is what happens when attachment is thwarted, or when attachment runs out. Aversion is what arises, okay? But, ugh. So this is the state of mind that we're talking about here, is the one that arises that labels something bad, ugly, don't want it, go away. And this is the one we're describing that we want to utilize. So Lama Zopa, he's in a body, he's a high being, he's in a body that suddenly is paralyzed, can't speak properly, no doubt in pain, but never discussed, acted as if nothing had changed, which means his mind was so stable. But not only that, and as Venerable Roger said, he seemed to notice that and already he was renowned for his incredible compassion for others, that somehow it seemed that this is multiplying impossibly his level of compassion. So he was using it as grist for his mill to put atomic bombs under the afflictions, So it's got logic to it, if we understand it. So for me, the really good example, if you think about anybody I always remember reading about Lance Armstrong. I know he's a naughty boy now, but when he was famous, he's a cyclist. I remember a long interview in the New Yorker, and he was famous for this absolutely obsessive, total obsessive wish to be the best cyclist on the planet, and nothing would stop him. So we think that's really, so Lama Zopa is like the bodhisattva at that level, except it's not coming from attachment, it's coming from compassion. So for him to drive on a flat road on his bike or to go downhill is a total bore, because nothing changes. Just you relax, you're just lazy. But he wants to go uphill. So the bigger the mountain, the better. He loved the high mountains because it pushed him to his absolute limit, and that's exactly what welcoming problems means. So we understand that when it comes to being the best tennis player, the best musician, the best anything, you make incredible effort. You'll push and push and push, because you're so enthusiastic about getting the result, which of course is all ego. But that's exactly right. That's bodhisattvas are like fanatics, but in terms of compassion and wisdom, So of course we have to take it one step at a time. If you're in a relationship with a person and you're a complete victim and you're being abused every day, your job is not to welcome the problems and like them like ice cream. You're not capable. It's a highly advanced practice. Your job is to get the hell out of this place and leave, have the courage to go. So you've got to know where you're at. This whole level of practicing compassion, dealing with your delusions, greeting problems as if it were like ice cream, is actually, as Pabonka Rinpoche says, is you need to be a suitable vessel for this level of practice, And a suitable vessel is a person who's done the earlier work, control their body, their speech, and their mind, subdued their body, speech, and mind, understands attachment well, understands aversion well, knows their mind intimately. To be a suitable vessel, and that's the suitable vessel. Like nobody can just go up the hills that Lance Armstrong goes up. Not possible. So you've got to know where you're at on the path. You've got to know where you're at on the path, what you're capable of. Now, sometimes you've got no choice. When suddenly you have a panic attack and you want to kill somebody, there's the opportunity if you can handle it. So it's a pretty intense level of practice. We have to know where we are capable of, know what stages we're at, and so act accordingly, So the first level of practice is keep away from the problems, please. Keep away from the problems as best you can. Protect yourself from the problems because you can't handle it. That's necessary. And then as you start to work on your body, speech, and mind, you can get braver and braver and braver and braver. And now you're able to even begin to be glad when a problem arises, because now it's an opportunity to put atomic bombs under attachment and ego grasping. That's the reason. That's the logic. So they say for these bodhisattvas, the thing that drives them, it's hard to, I can't get my head around, because that level of compassion is too hard for us to think. We understand compassion and love for a few people, just a few. But to have this for any being on the planet, it seems too absurd, But imagining it's possible, these high beings. That level of compassion, that level of seeing the suffering of others and finding it, as Lama Zopa says, having unbearable compassion. Unbearable compassion. And that's the thing here too. We start to understand what compassion is. We understand compassion. We only have it for very few people, a few animals, a few children. I'm sort of joking, but not. In other words, the only ones we have compassion for have to be innocent victims. But the Buddha's view is, at the level of the bodhisattva, is we have to have compassion. We can have compassion. It is possible to have compassion for every living being without exception, including Mr. Trump and the pedophiles, and the ugly ones, and the evil ones, and the ones who do all the harm on the planet. In fact, the bodhisattvas have more compassion for them. And this is the reason, because they're harming themselves, because they're creating unbelievable suffering for themselves. That's the basis of the most incredible level of compassion. And that's the compassion for the bodhisattvas have for us, all beings. Because we don't realize we're harming ourselves. They say the main basis for compassion for sentient beings is that we don't understand cause and effect. We don't understand karma. We don't understand that we create our own selves, our own happiness, our own suffering. We're schizophrenic, dualistic. We think every happiness and suffering are out there. We're like these vampires, you know, looking hungrily for happiness and trying to avoid suffering out there. Like we're out of our minds. We're demented. We're insane. We're mad. We're schizophrenic. That's what Buddha would say if he used modern language. Well, what about some questions? Where's Eileen? There's no Eileen. She asked all my questions. She's not here. Oh, there she is. Can't wait. You just rely on Eileen. She'll ask all the questions. Come on, baby.
Rabina, I'm so sorry. I was here, but I was on the phone with you. My
Well,
computer.
how dare you be? You're not listening to me. How dare you? Naughty
No,
girl.
I was on the phone listening to you.
Ask me a question.
Couldn't get on Zoom. You said, welcome the problem.
Great. Go on.
Welcome the problem. But you're also saying stay away from certain problems you know you
One
can't.
step at a time, petal. You didn't hear me. Junior school is you keep away from problems, baby. High school and university, you're even brave enough to jump in. So you got to know where you're at, sweetie pie. Do you not
Right.
understand that?
Right, but you could be in a situation where you thought you can handle it, but then you can't.
Well, then what?
Then it's always difficult when it deals
You
with
learn
it.
from experience and make like, you know, you make an effort to do your best, and if you fail, you pick it up and keep going, don't you?
Yes, yeah.
Eileen, what else? Come on.
No, but if you're in a situation, you don't want to be unkind.
No, rubbish. That's nonsense. What are you talking about? Be unkind. What are you talking about? You mean you don't want people to dislike you? Be more honest. Come on, give me the example.
Well,
Tell
that's
us the
true.
scenario.
Yeah. So in a relationship, let's say, and
With
you
who?
said,
Your dog, your mother, your husband, which one? It makes a difference.
well, your partner.
What?
Your partner, someone you're living with.
Partner, you mean your husband or some person who's equivalent to a husband?
Not a husband, but
Okay, what's the question, baby?
so the question would be, like you had said to me once, well, it's either wisdom or compassion. So sometimes you have to say to someone, I can't do this right now. I don't want to talk about this right now, but it hurts the other person.
Stop. Why would you, in what situation would you have to say that? Just be reasonable. Just tell me a simple example.
Well, you may not want to listen to something you have to do, you know, it may not be the right time.
Say it again, what?
It could be something you don't want to deal with, you know, right at that moment.
So what's the reason for not wanting to deal with it? This is the crucial point to understand. Is it
Because I'm
is it-
impatient and I'm not in the
is it-
mood.
okay, so it's coming from aversion and attachment.
Yes, it is.
Well, that's the
right.
wrong reason to do it, isn't it? Already you're in trouble.
Yes.
So ask now, what's the point there? You don't want to hurt, you already hurt the person by being annoyed with them. What are you talking about? The ideal,
Right.
I mean, you've got to look at the ideal. So the ideal, if your husband or somebody, your kid comes along and wants your attention, but you're too impatient to give it, already there's your problem. Forget about hurting them. You've got to catch your mind. And if you can, you really think it's reasonable to not pay attention to them, then you say, sweetie pie, later. So you change your mind right there. And try and do it with the correct motivation. That would be the practice then, if you can catch yourself. You see, you want them to go away out of impatience. So you quickly, before you say the word, you go, and then you change your motivation and say, sweetie pie, I can't deal with it now. Let's do this later. And then you've changed the entire thing, haven't you?
Yes, rather than lose your temper and create more problems.
Rather than the words come out your mouth, sweetheart. You've got to be catching your mind, Eileen. You've got to be noticing our mind, Eileen.
Yes.
This is really hard work, isn't it?
It is.
Right there. Now, if you're more brave, if you're up the bodhisattva level and you see this person's having a problem, and even though you're so busy, you'll notice the aversion and you'll go, what a great opportunity. What can I do for you, sweetheart? And you put down your job and you pay attention to them. That's a very brave practice. If you can do it, you can always try.
Yes.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I do.
Good, John.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sweetheart. What else, people? The key to all this is noticing what the hell's going on. We don't most of the time, you know, that's our trouble. What other questions? People, somebody?
I have a similar.
Go on, sweetheart.
Yeah, last night, I was getting ready to end the day and my daughter was in her bed and I went to say goodnight.
How old is your daughter?
turning 18.
Okay, in her
Not a
bed and
baby.
in mummy's home.
Yeah, she's getting ready to go to college.
Okay, good, that's good.
So, so I go in to say goodnight, and then she's like, no, don't leave,
Okay,
and she
I
wanted me to
understand.
stay, and I
Yeah.
had that moment where
It's like,
I
oh,
was
God. no.
impatient to
Yeah,
leave,
that's right.
but I stayed a little.
You did.
But on the other hand,
Yeah.
I think, and I could be wrong, I'm not, that it's appropriate for her to to go to deal with herself by herself when she's almost 18.
It's true theoretically, but
Right, okay.
was it helpful to be there for a few minutes for her? Did it
Yes.
help her?
I-
Or
I
did it
see
come
it.
on?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why you got to have enough wisdom. See, if we've got enough, if we're so overwhelmed by our own stuff, we can't see where she's coming from. Would you agree with that, wouldn't you? If you
1000.
catch it and notice you want to go back, then you can't, you go, it's right. Whereas if she's moaning and complaining and being a victim, maybe it would have been best, no, sweetheart, I've got to go. And you would have left her with it. But you seem to have made the right decision. So you've got to have enough sense to know, is it useful for her in a second?
Yeah.
Or is she just being a victim? If she's just being a moaner and complainer, you understand my point?
I-
Then
what-
you're right to
what I'm
leave.
thinking
But you have to
now-
have that wisdom.
Yes, and when I like what you said is just try, because sometimes I make the decision and I make the wrong decision and
Of course.
it's
Then you regret
Not
it. don't you?
guilty.
That's right.
Regret it, but not guilty.
So anyway, it's two things in this one. Catch your own mind, and you notice there's the impatience, you want to go. But then you've got to have enough wisdom to catch where she's at. Because you did say you think she should be big enough to handle. But sometimes, even if it's your grandmother, she might need your help.
Right.
So you've got to sense enough, you've got to have enough wisdom in yourself to notice first your own mind and then catch where she's coming from. You see my point?
Yes.
And if it's valid for you to stay, then it's because she needs you for that minute. And maybe she doesn't, in which case you leave her there. You've got to have that wisdom, but you can't have that wisdom if you're so overwhelmed by your own stuff. You get my point? Do you get my point or
Yeah,
not?
I get the point, but how do you? I guess
Practice.
practice.
Sweetie, practice, there's nothing special, practice.
Tired of being overwhelmed by my own stuff.
Well, that's keep going that and make that the motivation. You're fed up with the misery. But keep going. But praise yourself every time you do a bit. Don't
Okay.
keep saying I should do better. You get exhausted.
Yes.
It's one step at a time. So delight in your step and then eagerly look for the next step. Look forward to the next step. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So rejoice in your progress and then look forward to the next one.
Yes.
You'll break your back otherwise. You'll get depressed. That's no good. Do you understand me?
You do.
We've got to catch it. So important, darling. Good. People, what else? Come on. Somebody online. Can't read a thing. Kasha, what do you got a question? No, sweetheart? Nothing from you? No? No question?
I had a quick question.
Oh, somebody's grabbed you ahead of you. Who's that? Who is talking?
Sean here.
I'm going to look for you. Where are you? I see you, John. Sure,
Sean,
go on. Speak to me, sweetheart.
Yeah, I guess I was wondering, there's obviously spaces where being compassionate can be an assertion, right? Like, in places where it might not be seen in society as okay, right? I think of an example when I was traveling, and I was in Bangladesh, and there was, a deity, there was an untouchable at a bus station, and I went and I brought him food, and a lot of people, it created.
Speak a bit slower, Sean. I can't catch you, sweetheart.
I was just talking about like,
You were in Bangladesh, you said.
right. And so I was at a bus stop and there was an untouchable who didn't have any food. So I came and brought him a banana, and it created a huge commotion at this bus stop because you're not supposed to engage.
What was the commotion it caused?
Because there was a white guy, me as a white man, working, talking and touching and being with a untouchable.
And who finds that inappropriate in Bangladesh?
Everybody at the bus stop. I had a lot of people started.
An untouchable, you mean?
Yeah.
You
But
mean
I was
the
engaging,
so-called-
right? And so I don't know if that caused harm in me doing that.
Are you really sure they got upset with you? Are you really
Well,
sure?
they came up to me.
People
and they
give
told me not to
beggars
talk
things
about
all
it.
the time, especially in Bangladesh and India, where there are people on the street who beg.
Well, I had sat with them
Oh.
and brought him to bring in and had him come into the little cafe or thing and had him sit down and eat a meal with me.
Okay, that maybe is what they wouldn't have done.
And so, and it came to the point where like 2 police officers actually came up to me and were basically like, "You're not allowed to do this." And so I guess to me, it's like, how do we weigh out being
You've got
compassionate?
to learn to know the different cultures, don't you, Sean? Got to learn to know what's appropriate in your different culture. You mightn't agree with it, but obviously you need to learn to know what's appropriate in different cultures. Would you not agree with that?
100%. Yeah. Is it our duty to then to
Sorry,
like,
darling, what are you saying?
how do we, I guess, like prioritize? Do we prioritize the culture? What's culturally
I think,
appropriate?
I mean,
first?
I think the evidence is right there. The policeman came in that they didn't think it's appropriate in their culture. You don't want to be arrested. So you just got to decide, you know, what's appropriate. If you're brave enough sometimes to do something like that, then fine. But maybe you went too far. Maybe it was enough to offer a banana. That was enough, but you invited them into your home in a sense. But if that's not appropriate, you got to, I mean, if you want to survive in any culture, you've got to be reasonable. You just got to learn the rules, don't you? And do your best. Isn't it, Sean?
Yeah, I guess I'm wondering, do we limit our compassion then in those spaces in a
No,
sense?
you
or
don't limit your
still
compassion,
being
you limit your
compassionate?
actions according to the culture. You don't ever limit your compassion, but you limit your actions for the
Gotcha.
sake, just because it's reasonable. Everything's kind of dependent arising, you know. It mightn't be appropriate, you mightn't think it's appropriate, but it's okay. If that's their culture, you've got to abide by it. You've got no choice, have you? Otherwise you get
Okay.
into trouble. There's no point in doing that. It's not in other words, it's not a political issue. It's kind of be practical. You've got to be practical. Do you understand?
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Good,
Yeah,
sure.
thank you.
Thanks, darling. What else, people? Somebody? Paola, you have a question? No? Paola? No?
Not yet.
Speak to me, sweetheart.
Not yet.
Oh, not yet. Okay, good, darling. That's fine. Who else
Sorry.
then? Somebody here? No,
I
no.
can ask a follow-up,
Who?
another one.
Go, sweetheart, go.
Yeah, okay, so in the situation that Sean was just talking about, I was listening to a talk about. When they were in Tibet, they wanted to practice, but they weren't allowed, so they pretended they were playing cards. And then if anybody came to the house to, you know, they would just come out of the room and come back and pretend they're playing cards.
Okay, then.
How does that align with honesty? Like, is that honesty, it has to be on a practical level?
Well, obviously, isn't
Yeah.
it? Come on.
I know, but
I mean, I wouldn't even, why are you even asking that question? It's obvious.
Thank you.
I mean, I had to visit people in prison, right? Regularly,
Yeah.
and I wasn't supposed to be going in as a chaplain. I went in as an ordinary friend. So I'd spend the day in a few hours, and I'm going to take refuge. Well, I wasn't allowed to carry anything with me. I was not allowed to. So I had my little refuge document in like 4 points, when I'd keep it in my bra. And then when we would go to the machine and get your food and your coffee and your sandwiches from the coffee machine, which you're allowed to do, we put it on the table, and I'd bring out my little refuge document or my Bodhisattva vows document, and we'd read it and do the ceremony as if we were having breakfast. I had no choice. They would have thrown me into prison otherwise. So come on, it's a no-brainer, isn't it?
Well, for me, it's not a no-brainer because I'm
Why?
a people pleaser and I want to not get in trouble and make everybody happy. So that's my problem.
Everyone's got that, and that means we want to be seen as a good girl.
Yes.
Sometimes you need to do that. Regardless, you have to be conscious and intentional and make a decision.
Right.
So what would you have done in that prison? You wouldn't have given them refuge. Basically, you say you want to be a people pleaser. You really want people not to criticize you. So be more
Yes.
honest. That we never think of that, but that's what it is. We don't like
So
being
there's my
criticized.
dishonest, yes.
That's not being dishonest. It's just being, yeah, okay. We are all like that
Yeah.
all the time.
Do we-
In fact, our main motivation for doing everything is to make people like us.
That's right.
So everyone's being dishonest all the time until we start being conscious, which doesn't mean we go to the other extreme and do whatever we like and don't care that they don't like us. That's the absurd other extreme. Do you understand? We start to be conscious. And then the basic thing is you start to change your motivation for why you do things, not just attachment to being seen as a good girl. And that's when you can become braver. And you might stand up when it's appropriate and say, excuse me, that's unjust. And you might even risk your reputation by doing that. And you would do that if it was the right thing. I mean, Sean to go around inviting the untouchables, as he calls them, as they call them, to a restaurant and get arrested. There's no benefit. It's not become ridiculous, you have to be sensible. But when you start to change your attitude and do it out of a valid reason, do your action out of a valid reason, then you'd even be able to do what I did without looking like I'm cheating, Do you understand? It's got to become conscious.
Yeah,
Do you understand?
sort of, I think it's challenging. For me, it's challenging because I
Of
don't
course it
see
is.
myself, yeah.
It's for everybody. Because we're usually just coming from the wrong places. We don't even know. We don't even realize. You understand? Because we're so used to this attachment. The deepest attachment of all, more than sex and drugs and rock and roll, is to be attaching to being seen as a good girl,
Yes.
approved of, validated, loved. You understand? Very primordially deep down. So it takes time. You understand?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
What else, people? Something else? Nobody. Alona, no questions? Sweetheart?
Yes, I can. I was thinking about learn to greet our problems, and my biggest aversions come when I deal with my mom.
You have aversion to your mother.
It arises. I practice
I
to
can't
have
hear you, darling.
compassion.
Say it again.
I practice compassion towards my mom, but the strongest sometimes it's the strongest aversion when. Yeah,
You
when
mean you have
I
aversion for your mother? She annoys you, she irritates you, she upsets you. Is that what you're saying?
sometimes, yeah,
Okay, good. So
very
go on. So
strong.
go on. Then go on. Question.
And I was thinking about, is that because I don't have law of karma and cause and effect in my bones? Would I be
Sorry, darling,
reacting
I don't
less
understand. Start again. I don't understand your point. Say it again. More slowly.
if I would have a law of karma and cause and effect in my bones? Would I react less to my mother?
Would you what?
Would I react less? Would I have less
I mean,
aversion?
yeah, maybe. I mean, yes, yes, you would if karma were really serious for you, which is a pretty advanced practice already. Then you'd want to be you'd be very cautious about saying any words that would harm her because you don't want yourself the suffering. You don't want the suffering yourself. Of course you would, but that's advanced, sweetheart. But so you just have to, you know, whatever it is. So whatever you have to try and practice. What's the main practice for you with your mother? Just be patient, isn't it?
Watch my mouth and be kind.
To be kind to her. Is she demanding of you?
Yes,
Demanding of you, always wanting more, never satisfied,
yes,
criticizing
yes.
you, complaining.
Not criticizing much, but remind me how much good you've done for me.
Mothers do that, don't they? Do mothers do that? How often does she do that? I love it. How often does she do that?
Often, well, especially if she needs something.
Ah! Your mother lives in the Ukraine, doesn't she? And you live in Sweden.
Yes,
Do you have contact with your mother?
yeah, all the time, and
You mean every
especially
day?
a few times a week. I cannot take every day.
She calls you or you call her?
Most of I call her.
And then you say, hello, mum. And then what happens? What will she say to you?
Then she tells all her problems and what she needs and what she doesn't have. And and then she talks 1 minute about me and she comes back to her. So
About
she's
herself and her problems.
really self-centered.
And what
But
are her problems? What kind of problems does she have?
no money.
And has she got a
She-
husband? Does she have a
Oh,
husband?
yes.
She complains about him too?
Yes.
I see. So then you have to listen to her complaints, is what you're saying. It's difficult. How long do the conversations last?
It could be between 20 minutes and an hour.
So you accept. So have you decided? So this is the thing about, you know, your mother, you know what she's like. You know she's unhappy, which means she's got attachment and is never satisfied, always wanting more, always complaining. You understand? I can see that. But when you call her, you say you're the one who calls her, right? So
Yes.
why do you call her 3 or 4 times a week? Why do you do that? Why? Why do you do that?
Well, because especially now vulnerable because it's so much with the war and it's lately it's been so much bombing around Odessa. So I'm just worried about them, you know.
Why,
That's
why
why.
can't you leave if you, but I mean, why do you ring her through? What do you mean worried about her? She's going to let you know if something happens. And if she's dead, someone will tell you. So why don't you leave it for her to contact you?
Well, when I do that, she complains. She
But she's
said she want
complaining.
me to
No,
contact her.
wait a minute. We're not talking about your mother here. We're talking about you. But she complained no matter what, won't she?
She want
But
me to call her
you ring her
often.
up because you genuinely love your mother or because you're feeling guilty? What is it, do you think? Which one? I'm just curious.
I genuinely care about her.
So when you ring her consciously because you want to know how everything is, right?
Yes.
And then, but do you decide you're going to speak for 5 minutes and then say, Mum, I've got to go now, darling, bye. Why don't you do that? Why do you sit there passively allowing her to rave on? Maybe that's your big mistake. Maybe you've got to decide, call her regularly, but you decide in your mind, unless there's a serious problem, you give it 10 minutes maximum. You be in charge of the conversation, because it sounds to me like you're being a victim of the conversation, and let her bully you with all her rubbish. You're allowing her to speak all her rubbish is not helpful for her. So maybe you call her with a happy mind and you run the conversation, Alona, and you ask her questions, and then she says things, oh, mummy, I understand, darling, I must be so bad. You know, and I do love you, and I've got to go now, mum, bye, talk to you 3 days. If you do that, you'll feel very different. You're being passive. You're allowing her to bully you. So it's your mistake, not hers. You must not expect her to change, but don't be passive. I think you'll feel a lot better. You run the conversation and you hang up after 5 minutes. Got to go now, mum, bye. And ignore her garbage and stop being so passive. That's my suggestion. What do you think?
But I think it's a good suggestion. I will do that.
Do it, try it next week for 3 or 4 times and see if it works. Because you could give her 5 hours and she'll never stop. Because when we're unhappy, nothing is ever enough. You could go home to the Ukraine and sleep in your mother's bed 24 hours a day and feed her your blood. She still won't be happy. All right?
Yes.
So you run the
yes.
conversation. And many small conversations with you in charge that leave her less distressed. I love you, mummy, bye. Speak to you Thursday. Got to go, darling, before she can say a word. And you give her lots of love for that 5 minutes. And you be in charge. She'll feel optimistic and she'll hear it. And then in 3 days you call again and give her another 5 minutes. The way you're doing it is hopeless. It's a disaster. It's not kind at all. That's
Okay.
would you understand my point?
Yes.
And you'll feel better because you feel in charge. Not this victim having your mother vomit on you, thinking you're being kind. You're not being kind. Do you hear me?
Yes. Yes. I
Give
hear.
it a try and report back next week, okay?
Okay. Thank
right.
you.
Okay, darling. What else, people? What's the time? 1:15, 1:45. I can't see the time. What is it?
2:15.
Is that very esoteric clock? I can never tell. I can't read it. 2:45. 2:30. Okay. Yes, Paola. You found a question. Go, Paola. Yes, sweetheart.
Thank you very much, Venerable Robina, for the suggestions you gave to Alona, because I have the same problem with my father.
Oh,
thank you very much. But it's getting better. It's getting better since last year. I would like, maybe this is a stupid question. How do we know when we are ready to genuinely be compassionate with others instead of being seen as a good girl? How?
You're asking me the question. What you're asking me is, how do I, if I'm practicing piano, how do I know if I'm playing the right notes? What is your answer?
I have to study
What?
first. I have to study. I have to
No,
know
that's
the
not what I mean.
first.
No, more simply, you're playing the piano and
Yeah.
you're asking me the question, how do I know that I'm playing the right notes?
It doesn't sound good.
No. Well, how would you know it doesn't sound good? Based on what?
My ear.
No, but how do you know it's wrong? What if you're playing piano, you lift your eyes and you look at the music on your piano, don't you, right there in front of you, and you have the instructions written down of what to play. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
You have the instructions. The music is written there, isn't it? Very clear. So you check, did I do that? So the same here, you're taking Buddha's instructions here. It's very specific instructions. So you check in your mind to know what level you have reached. You learn to know. You learn to know, darling. You don't ask, how will I know when I'm perfectly compassionate? You will know if you're doing it properly because you're practicing. So one step at a time. In the beginning, it's very difficult, sweetheart. To get to the point where you're not driven by attachment to reputation, you're a highly advanced person already. So you've got to decide each moment, practice every day, just look at the difference in your mind and do your best. You can't possibly have pure compassion until you're highly advanced. It's going to be mixed with attachment. Of course it is. We're human beings. We're not advanced yet. So it's natural. It's going to be all mixed together like a big soup. But you have to be conscious and intentional and make decisions and do your best every time and move one step at a time. And you get more and more wise. Are we communicating?
Yes. Thank you.
Good.
so
Keep
much.
going, darling. It's all right.
Thank
Who
you so
else? Something else. Come on.
Can you hear me?
Who's I? Which I is this?
Marion.
I'm trying to find you. There you go, sweetheart. Talk to me. Mary.
Marion.
Talk to me,
I
Marion.
wanted to go back to Alana's story a little bit
A
because
long story.
No, I just want to say simply that I had my challenges with my mother and created boundaries, and it made it healthier for me.
So what do
I
you mean by create a boundary, Marion?
Well, she
What does
wanted
that
me to,
mean?
similar to Alana, my mother demanded a lot from me, lacked empathy, might I add on that.
What,
And that
sweetheart? Say it more clearly again. I want to hear exactly the
Okay, so
situation.
my mother was similar to Alana's story, except that I learned to, I'm confirming what you said, that by creating some boundaries with my mother.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't use those words. I never use those words. So
Okay, I
no,
would say.
hang on, darling. One step at a time. Each word is very important. So what
Okay.
do you mean by creating a boundary? What do you, I didn't say that at all to
Okay,
Alona.
okay.
I said to feel you're being in charge of the conversation, not being a victim of it, and sort of being optimistic and positive so that you can run the conversation. So what do you mean by create a boundary? What do you mean by that?
I limited conversations with my mother.
So I wasn't suggesting that. That's a different discussion. So go on. But what was the reason you limited your conversation? What drove you to do that? What was in your mind? What was your motivation?
Because my mother is a very unhappy person, and she would call me to tell me about her
Oh,
unhappiness.
she would, because she's suffering. But I'm trying to talk about,
Suffering.
no, I know, darling, and I want to discuss this. Is a really good point. So what was the motivation that drove you to limit the times you spoke to your mother? Was it compassion? Was it compassion for your mother?
Compassion for myself.
And what does compassion for yourself look like? It's really good discussion.
How to take care of my heart.
And what do you mean care for your heart? What do you mean by that?
To hard to describe, you're giving me
Yeah, it's important.
that my heart was somewhat broken with my relationship with my mother.
Your heart was broken. So you felt that you could, so if we put this two things, okay, this is a good discussion. You want to have this discussion? You want to keep going? Because I want to analyze it and go into it.
If
You'd
the
like to
group
do that?
does, sure. If the group does,
Good,
I don't
darling.
want.
It'd be helpful for all of us and for you. So there's basically two things going on, right? There's your mum and there's you, isn't it? So she has a mind, she has attachment, she's discontent, she's miserable, she's unhappy, she has aversion, she's dissatisfied. And then there's your mind, and we all are the same in this sense that we've all got attachment and we have aversion. So from your point of view, you could argue, using this Buddhist analysis, that your mother's behavior activated your aversion, made you upset, made you feel distressed. Would you agree with that?
100%.
Good, darling. So we focus that way, then the emphasis is on you and what you're capable of, you know? So then clearly you have to recognize that you're not capable yet of dealing with your mother's garbage because you haven't dealt with your own yet. Because if we've dealt with our own, we're happy to deal with our mum. And what I was suggesting to Alona, she's had a false idea of compassion. I think yours could be different. I think for Alona, I think she was falsely thinking that she was being compassionate by just sitting there passively, allowing her mother to complain for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And I was suggesting that's not compassion, that's passivity. So I think Alona is different from you. So I think Alona's, I said to be more in control, ring your mum 6 times a week, but be in control out of kindness to your mother. Hello, mum, how are you, darling? And listen to her problems. Oh, sweetheart, I'm so sorry. I do love you. Bye. See you later. Then she doesn't give the mother the chance to go on and on and on for her sake. So it's a bit of a different discussion. Yours is you can't handle your own attachment, can't handle your mother's unhappiness. So from your perspective, perhaps it is good, but make sure it's compassion for your mum as well as yourself, to limit the times you call her. It's a bit different, but are you seeing my point? So make it a positive motivation. Do you understand?
Can I ask one more other question?
Of course, darling. Keep going.
Okay. What if this person,
Your mother?
that I have had a lot of closure with her, she's no longer alive.
Oh,
I want to add, but
so
no,
stop. So why are we
Okay.
discussing it when your mum's dead? I was confused.
Because there was a journey, in my words, with my mother that allowed me to heal from
After she's dead or before she's dead?
before.
Oh, good. So this is all, how many years ago is all this?
She died 2 years ago.
Oh, okay. So tell us then the journey you went through.
The journey was that my mother was not a, it was a very, I don't want to, it was a very difficult relationship. She was a high spectrum narcissist, if you want to.
No, never mind. I don't care. See, I don't mind about your mum. I'm rather
Okay.
talk about you. Let's
Okay.
deal. We all know the world is full of suffering people. So let's take it as a
Yes,
given your mum
yes.
was suffering. So we're now dealing with you and your ability to handle this difficult person. That's what we're talking about. The emphasis is on us here. So tell me the journey you went through.
The journey
Very
was
briefly.
very briefly
Go on.
that I had a mother in my life that couldn't,
No, I don't
well,
want to talk about your
okay,
mum.
okay,
I need to
okay.
know about your
that
mind.
I had a difficult challenge healing from.
No, you're
a
not
wo-
healing from your mother. No, that's not
No,
the
no, I
Buddhism.
didn't. I wasn't going to say my mother.
You're healing from your own attachment and your own aversion.
Yes,
So tell me
yes.
what you did to handle your attachment and your aversion. What did you do on your mind to deal with it?
I meditated.
How? Doing what?
Meditated on this hurt that I've had.
Hurt.
Mhm,
What does
the
hurt
wound.
mean? What do you mean by hurt, sweetheart?
Uh,
What do you
I
mean by
don't-
hurt?
that I can't say my mother, but I just said that something hurt me, and that I
Okay,
didn't
no,
want
see, the Buddhist analysis of that is that you have attachment. We've all got it, darling.
Yeah,
Attachment,
sure.
little baby inside us that hungrily needs everything to be lovely. And then when you didn't get it, then aversion arises, upset arises, hurt arises, anger arises. So you, like all of us, have that problem. So how did you heal your attachment and your aversion? How did you heal it?
I walk through
Good,
with
go on.
help, with guidance. I didn't
Good,
do it alone.
good, darling, good.
And we walk through my experience.
Good, darling. And then by the time your mummy died, had you learned to love her?
I learned to forgive her.
No, love her. Want her to be
No, I
happy.
didn't learn to love her.
So you haven't learned to love her yet. Okay, that's the next step.
No,
That's
I
your
have
next step.
not.
That's your next step.
Okay, okay.
Do you understand me?
I absolutely understand.
Good, darling.
you.
So thank you. This has been a very helpful conversation. Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, darling. It was very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep going, people. What other? Do we understand what's going on here? We're all different, you know. Everyone's different stages. Go on, Hillary. Where's Hillary? Hello, sweetheart.
Oops. Hello. Hi, Venerable. Hello, everyone. I just wanted to, take a moment just to thank you for helping me kind of learn to greet a problem that I've had this past year and a half. I was in London and I was hit by a car.
That's right, I remember that.
And I ended up in the hospital, and I emailed you on a very, very difficult evening. And we ended up talking, and we talked about karma, and I was just having a lot of self-pity and why did this happen to me, and just a lot of physical, emotional suffering. And then, I had a lot of time to kind of, I started to look at it differently after we talked about karma, and, really used the opportunity to do more studying and to, kind of deepen my practice. And,
Yes.
and I'm still dealing with aspects of the accident.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but I now look back, I'm able to look back without a lot of high emotion and see it with a lot of positivity for what it brought me, the opportunity. But
there you go, darling. So your greeting problem, you learned to like greet problems like you like ice cream. Well done.
Yeah. But I wanted to thank
Amazing. See, this is the thing. If we can be brave enough, we can learn so much from when bad things happen, can't we? And in her own way, that's what Marianne is doing, slowly, learning from the bad experiences. Of course, we didn't discuss karma with Marianne, but with you, we certainly did discuss it, and that can be very powerful. So you're working through it. This is amazing. Well done.
Thank you.
So how's your body now? You're healed, but physically?
I had to have an additional operation, but
wow.
I'm healing very well, and I
good job. I'm so glad.
Thank you.
So you had all the medical care. You had insurance here.
Yeah, medical care, also therapy and all this,
Good job. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Good on you, girl. Well done. See, that's the thing. I mean, that's why we look at Lama Zopan. It's kind of, he's sort of like, he's the Lance Armstrong of dealing with problems. He's like incredible. But we have to sort of see that and see it theoretically possible and then move towards that. But we have to know what we're capable of. And that's why in Marianne's case, she had to make a decision to stop calling her mum because she knew she couldn't handle. But that's why the point of making to Marianne to keep remembering that's your mum, but there's also you, and you've got to do your piece. And eventually, as we keep progressing, you will eventually, when we know our own, this is the point in the Buddhist view, Marianne, we talk about the wisdom wing and the compassion wing. But the wisdom wing is like compassion for yourself. And the more you know your own mind, your own attachment, your own aversion, your own fears, the more you can then understand the other person. But it's one step at a time. So far, so good. So you keep moving, girl, okay?
Thank
All right,
you.
darling. Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good. What else, people?
Well, I'm at the place where Marianne is, except my mom's still alive and I've just forgiven her.
You've just forgiven her. What did she do to you? How
It
was she
doesn't
naughty?
matter. Right? No, she's very unhappy, and I was attached to her being happy and treating me well.
No, I understand. That's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was bad. And so I didn't speak to her for 7 years.
Okay.
My dad died. I did not go to, they didn't really have a funeral, but
You what?
my dad died, and I don't know what they did for him, but when he was dying, I didn't go visit because. And now I have, through this, I had 30 years of therapy, but didn't get.
30 years of therapy.
Yeah, but through Buddhism.
Look at your own mind, being your own therapist.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it, darling.
I was able to have compassion for my mother and not hate her anymore.
That's right.
And I reached out to her and we had a conversation, and that was a few weeks ago.
A few weeks ago. Well done.
Thank you. And I invited her to my daughter's graduation.
Amazing. She must be so happy.
No, she's not coming because she doesn't want to drive. And I said,
Oh,
well,
okay.
you could fly, you could take the train.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I'll come the next week. So whatever.
Okay, that's fine. So how are you seeing? So this is the thing. This is also the point, Marianne, to know this one. What we don't realize initially is that what's going on in our mind are the lenses through which we see people. So when we see an ugly, unhappy person, let's say your mum was unugly and unhappy, and you might be objectively right. But also we adding to that is the view we have of her as horrible, and our own aversion makes her worse than she is.
Yeah.
So if you're a body suffer looking at your mother, you just have incredible love for her because there's nothing in the way anymore. And we have to aim, we've got to go one step at a time. That's the thing. So you're moving forward. So you're able to see your mother more objectively now.
But I think I'm calling her now out of guilt and wanting to have the reputation of being a good daughter.
Well, then just watch it, darling, just watch it. Does she enjoy your conversations? Is she happy to talk to you?
I think she's afraid of me. Yeah, I think
What do you mean afraid?
She's just terrified of me.
What do you mean by that, darling? Why do you say that? You've been mean to her all these years?
Oh yeah,
So she's
super mean.
expecting you to be mean again.
Yeah,
She lives on her own?
I think, yeah, she lives on her own.
On her own. She's
Yeah.
old?
She's she was born in 48,
Okay.
76. I guess.
So she doesn't call you?
Never. She never, ever calls
Ever
me.
call. No, I
She doesn't
understand.
wanna, she doesn't wanna,
Okay, so so then how often do you call her?
I don't,
You just said
so
you call her.
I called her to invite her to a
But
program.
you haven't done that since.
No, I haven't called her. in
But
a
you just said
while.
you're contacting her out of a reputation, but you're not contacting her. So let it be.
Yeah, but that.
Sometimes there's no karma there. Sometimes the relationship is just over, especially
Yeah.
called your mother.
Mhm.
I mean, there is a reason for you to be kind to her. Maybe you've got to do the work internally.
Yeah,
And this is a big point, okay? When we see, let's say we see our mum, let's use example, who's neurotic, just like the rest of us, needy, unhappy, possessive, not satisfied. So because we're feeling guilty, we feel it's our job to make her happy, like you said.
right.
So you do what you can to make her happy, and you're expecting her to be happy. And then when she's not happy, you then assume you failed, right? That's the mistake. That's the mistake. So have no expectations. The whole thing of love and compassion, love is a thought, may she be happy? And then the brave attitude is, what can I do to make her happy? You can have that, but have no expectations that she might be happy. That's her side. That's her part of the deal. So you do what you can. That's what I'm saying to Alona. Don't expect your mother to change, but be in charge of the phone conversation. Hello, mummy, how are you, darling? Oh, I'm so sorry. And really be sympathetic, but don't sit there passively expecting her to feel better after 40 minutes. You say, see you later, mum, bye, I love you. And you can do the same, but have no expectation that she'll be different. That's her business to be different. But make the effort to be kind. That's incredible. every now and again. But you have to stop waiting for her signs to change. All you're watching, all you're checking is, oh, she's different now. Is she different? Is she liking me? She's not liking me. Stop worrying about it. Afraid, not afraid. Don't give a damn. It's none of your business. Just be happy every now and again. Send her a gift. Write her a card. Thank you for being a kind mother. I mean, she didn't abort you, darling. At least she kept
Right.
you
No,
alive.
yeah.
So send her a
Yeah.
gift every now and again and have zero expectation for her ever to be happy. That's her business.
So
Mm.
if I do call, I would.
Every now and
like to
again.
Call her,
But stop getting her to be different.
right, because that's.
Hello,
Mm.
mommy, how are you, darling? I'm so happy. And so you say, thank you for being a good mother. And I'm sorry for anything I've done wrong to harm you. And I do love you. And I want you to be happy. Got to go now. Bye. Sort of thing.
Yes,
In a sense, let her hear positive words from her. Let her do what she likes with them. Though. Stop expecting her to be a certain way. You hear me?
yes,
Every now and again, just call her. Say that. Do you understand me? Do you hear me? But be
Yeah.
in charge of the phone conversation.
yeah. Thank you.
Just say positive words. And let her negative ones wash off like a, if you can, wash off like a water. It's difficult because we're so caught up in our mothers.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's wonderful that you're able to forgive her and contact her. And even if she's not able to do anything with it, that's her business. Don't you worry about it. Let her hear positive words from you. Every now and again, a short conversation, every now and again. Don't go on and on, expect her to say something, expect her to ask about you. Just don't do all that. Do you understand?
Yeah. Thank you.
It's good for your mind.
Yeah,
You
it
understand?
is, that's,
Absolutely.
that's the thing is, I
Yeah.
feel it's, you know, that I have to be selfish and be kind because it helps us, but.
But it's good to do that. I mean, I
Yeah.
remember the Dalai Lama, when I first heard about all these compassion teachings, I thought they were over the top, these ridiculous Tibetans. You understand? Then I heard the Dalai Lama say, do you want to help others? Practice compassion. You want to help yourself? Practice compassion.
Yeah.
It really helped me. It's a good thing. That's a good thing. I read recently that they say that even people who are just being kind, their blood pressure gets better or something, or there's an evidence of that it helps their health. Right there, they've tested, which makes so much sense.
Oh, yeah.
Having positive thoughts is going to make us better than having negative ones. There's no question. Do you understand? So be happy with it. It's great. Yes.
Question.
Hello, darling.
I lost my parents years ago.
Yes.
And while they were alive, I tried really hard to fix them. And
Fix them, that's
save
right.
them.
We feel like as a good son, good daughter, we have to do that.
Yeah, and you know, and somebody said to me at one point, who's a pretty profound person, he said, oh, you can't fix your parents emotionally any more than you could breathe for them if they had emphysema.
Oh, good.
And it was after they died, I was able to forgive and everything, but while they were alive, it was just like this constant triggering. So
Yeah.
and when you have so much emotional attachment,
Yes.
how do you give up that kind of attachment?
By working on attachment to Kate. Attachment is attachment, and it's not a question of the object. Attachment is a need, an emotional neediness for
Right.
everything to be nice. Do you see my point? It's as simple as that. So it's the cake, the music, the sound, the smell, your mother's behavior, whatever it might be, doesn't matter. Okay, attachment to your mum is a particularly strong connection. You got born, you ran like a magnet to her womb. That's a pretty intense karmic connection. Already mother's intense, but attachment is a need to be seen as a good boy, the need for everything to be lovely. That's the source of the pain. Stop saying what their actions were. That's the source of the pain. So by giving up attachment to cake, giving up attachment to your own thing, that helps every attachment. Do you understand? I mean, there's two things with this karmic connection with people, which is really intense. The fact that you come into somebody's body, you're born out of a human's body, you can't get anything stronger than that. It's intense karmic history. So there's going to be incredible emotional stuff. Do you understand me?
I see.
Incredible. Of course there is. So because of that also, you have to learn to use that to try and have compassion and kindness and gratitude to your mother for what she did and your father for what they did, because they did give birth to you. And that's one of my first things. I mean, I remember some fellow I met years ago, he was about 40, and he discovered that at the age of 40, his mum told him that she was in the hospital in her gown, ready to have the abortion, to abort him. And she put her hand on the door handle to walk into the next room, to keep going, and she stopped and said, I won't have an abortion. He was so moved by that she consciously decided not to kill him. Well, our mothers didn't abort us, you know. So that's a pretty good reason to think of their kindness. And this is why in the compassion wing practices, there's these meditations we can do and do it as an exercise. All we do is remember our mother's bad things. I mean, each of us has said about mother's bad things. I haven't heard one word yet what our mother did for us is kind, you know. Do you see my point? And if you're the mother in this case, you know exactly what I'm saying. When all your daughter is seeing is your shitty parts and your mean parts, there you go. You're a bloody mother, you know. So we should learn from that, you know, so the cause of the suffering is our attachment not getting what it wants, and then aversion when the people do what our attachment doesn't want. Then we see them through the lens of aversion. And many people spend their lives having this picture of their mother as ugly. So if you can be brave enough to marry her now that she's dead and you're safe, when we're ready for it, start doing
I'm laughing. I get it.
start doing this
I don't.
analysis from the beginning. Well, okay, what are the good things my mother has done for me? You see, we say that meditation is called seeing the mother as kind. So that is a bit weird for us because we think, no, she wasn't. She was a mean old bitch, you know. She might have been. She might have been. But what we have to see is that what we mean by kind is that someone's kind to me and they adore me. No, the fact that she did anything at all. And if your mother was neurotic, you should be even more grateful that she did anything to lift a finger to help you because she was so caught up in her own misery. You see my point? So just think objectively. Well, she gave birth to me. She didn't abort me. She fed me. She got up in the middle of the night. She wiped my smelly bottom. She tied my shoelaces. She wiped my bottom. She fed me. You can't argue that she didn't do these things, but we forget. We completely forget. All we've done is paint a picture based on anger. So it's a really good humbling exercise to literally make a list and before you know it, and many of my friends who are Buddhists for years have been doing this, and they completely change the picture of their mother. And end up seeing an old neurotic lady who's suffering just like me. So in other words, another way to say that is when you see your own attachment, your own neediness, and your own expectations, and your own anger, then you'll understand your mother's suffering, because that's all she's suffering from, just like you.
I found that once I started meditating and started following Buddhism,
Yeah.
I realized that they were grievously injured people.
The what?
They were grievously injured people.
Injured meaning they had attachment and aversion like you.
Yeah, they did, and that
What do
was,
you mean by injured?
well, they were both very messed up people.
They had attachment and aversion.
Yeah.
Do you see that or not?
Oh,
If you
I
don't
do see that.
if you
I
don't
do
see it in your mind, you can't see it in theirs.
Well, I see it in myself now.
Good. So you see it in you, you go, oh my God, I recognize it in them.
But
There it is. Just
That
same
was
as me.
what healing from then did. It taught me
Yeah.
that, gee, I'm a really fallible person too, and my son probably sees me that way.
Wait, what?
I said, I'm a fallible person with attachment too, and my son probably sees me that way.
Exactly, that's right. Exactly,
Yeah.
that's right. Exactly.
That's what
So one step at a time. Come on. The more we work on our own mind and see our own stuff, we realize we're all in the same boat. That's why the wisdom wing, working on ourselves, or she calls it self-compassion, has to come first. Then we go, oh my God, now I recognize. You understand? You understand? So one step at a time, okay.
makes sense. Thank you.
I think we've done enough. Come on, it's not at 3 o'clock, but it doesn't matter. It's enough. I talk fast. Enough food for thought. It's been intense today, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Hasn't it? You people,
I have a
time to
question.
finish. All right. Okay.
If it's okay, I have a question.
What? One
I
more
have a
question? Good, darling. Speak to me, sweetheart.
I spoke to you a couple of years ago, and
Start again. I didn't hear you, sweetheart.
I said I spoke to you a couple of years ago,
Yes.
and I just have a question regarding inaction and procrastination, and this feeling that anytime, in terms of an object or a task that I feel I can't do this,
Yes.
like I just can't, and
Yes.
it's completely intertwined with laziness or procrastination.
Yes.
And so I find myself stuck in a lot of ways in terms of financial independence, in terms of, holding down a job or a career. And I
Yes.
would just like to be able to get your advice on, even if I'm doing it one step at a time, perhaps it
I
seems so
understand, sweetheart.
overwhelming that
I understand very much. I do hear what you're saying, Kasha. Kasha, isn't it Kasha?
Yes,
Kesha. Sweetheart, so tell me, are you living on your own or you live with your mummy and daddy?
I was living in Toronto. I came back to India last year. Currently,
What
I'm
happened? I
living
missed you. I missed what you said.
I was living in Toronto until last year.
Living in where?
Toronto, Canada.
Oh, okay, good. On your own. On your
Yes.
own. Good. Okay,
Yes.
go on. And then now?
And then I moved back to India
Yes.
last year. And then since April of last year up until February, I was up in the mountains meditating, smoking up, and just sort of.
Meditating and smoking. Come on, darling. Come on. And now, where are you now, dear?
I'm back home at the moment with my
With your
parents.
mommy and daddy.
Yes, yes.
So,
I'm
sweetie
back.
pie, the first question I have for you, and this is the one, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want?
So I've had like I've tried so many different things,
No,
Venerable.
darling, what do you want?
Mm.
Look inside. See if you can find an answer. What do you really want? What do you want? Not what your mother wants, not what your father wants, not what you think other people. I remember reading, I told you this, I've said this before, I'm sure, about some lady, a nurse who worked with the dying, and she wrote a book called The 5 Greatest Regrets of the Dying. And the greatest regret was, I didn't follow my heart. I did what was expected of me. So, darling, sweetie pie, what do you really want? Maybe you don't know yet, but what do you think you want? What do you want?
And so before I moved to India, I was getting trained while I was working at the restaurant as a server, was being an actor. And I came with very high hopes to India, thinking, okay, India is finally allowing different people who are not of the gender binary to be
Not
perhaps
what, sweetheart? Not what? I didn't hear.
people who are not of the gender binary, like people who are not completely like heteronormative, that
Yes.
they can perhaps be also actors. And that
Yes.
was but when I came here, I just sort of again nosedived into anxiety and a lot of depression regarding like, oh my god, I can't do this, oh my god, oh my god.
Exactly. I know.
And that's where I'm at, like
So what do you, so you want to be an actor? Is that what you're saying? And is it the best place to be in India?
yes,
Why India is good for you?
figuring that out. Because in Canada the struggle seemed so much that I was like, I need to go back home. And now that I'm here, I'm like, okay, I need to escape from here too. But wherever I go, there I am. And
I
I know
understand,
that
sweetheart. Exactly, that's right. So tell me, okay, so one of the things is it the right place to be physically? That is important. So you think you want to be an actor and you think India is the right place to be. Are you in the right city for that? Are you in the place where there are people who want your services or where you can get a job? Are you in the
I
right
did,
place?
yeah. So I just came back.
Where do
I
you live?
visited Bombay.
Where do
I
you
live
live,
in
darling?
I live in Gujarat, which is a state on the west. The city is
Okay.
called Surat. So I'm like 4 hours away on a train ride to Bombay, which is like the
The
heart of
place. That's the
Bollywood.
place to go, yeah.
Yeah. And I was there in Bombay last week, and all my mind could see was, oh my God, this is so hot. Oh my God, I can't do this. Oh my God, the struggle. Oh my God, how I'm going to
Exactly.
afford it. Like
Exactly.
I kept like, and I was able to sort of have a very, even if I was going through it, going through the rings of it all, I kept seeing how much I like, how many negative things I was pointing
I
out.
understand, darling.
And I
So
realized I'm not happy anywhere. Like you could
I
take me to
understand. Let me
Switzerland
keep
on an
asking
app.
you. I want to keep asking you practical questions. Have you got? Are
Okay.
you an actor? Are you an actor? Have you done acting and you're trained and you are ready to be an actor?
I have trained, yes. I am ready to act, yes.
Okay. And have you got an agent? What do you do in India? Do you have agents in India?
No, I don't. No, don't
You
have an
need an
agent.
agent, sweetheart.
Yes, I need
Why
an
don't you
agent.
find yourself the first step an agent and do what the people do what your profession demands. If you're clear, you want to be an actor. So you've said that. This is 90% of the problem, my sweetie pie. You know what you want. So the other one I can't do, that's typical. That's very typical. That's all the same. So you listen to those voices, but you look to the other voice too. You want to be an actor, and I bet you're going to be I bet you're a good actor. So why don't you just get yourself an agent and do one step at a time? Why don't you do that? What's stopping you from doing that step? What do you think?
Right. I keep thinking I'm gonna do it tomorrow,
Speak
or
again. Say it again. What?
I said it's just the habit of procrastination, I think.
Okay, so
That
then I understand that, and that's a chronic disease we all have. So
yeah.
the irony is there's no trick to it, it's just to do it. So at least if you start with that first step, not, oh my God, I want to be an actor, and make it all too big. This one step at a time. So the next step is find yourself an agent. Do what actors do and find an agent. How about that's first step? Just go there and be humble and shut your mouth and go there, find people, go from place to place, do whatever you do and find a person to represent you. One step at a time, sweetheart. You've got to do it one step at a time. That's the way to get over procrastination. You're saying procrastination because you think I've got to be an actor and you're trying to see the end result. One step at a time. Get yourself an actor. Have you got money? Have you got a place to live? Have you got income? Can you survive, or are you on the street of Calcutta with all the other poor people?
No. I do have savings from when I lived in Toronto.
Good.
And Bombay is just as expensive as Toronto. So I'm like,
sure,
okay, I
yes.
can figure that out as well.
Yes.
Yeah. But my
Have you got a good resume? Have you done a few jobs?
I do have a resume. I haven't worked in any short films or haven't worked in anything yet. No.
No theatre jobs? Nothing?
No.
Done nothing
No.
yet? But you've got some
Yeah.
background to show your credentials.
Yes, like
You know, why don't you just do even first step is that. Write up a really nice CV, an honest presentation with nice photos of yourself, make your hair look pretty, shave your face, look cute, put your nice clothes on and go get a photo and a little resume. Do that first and then take that to an agent and sweetheart, go one humble step at a time. What do you think? Just make that your goal for the moment. What do you think?
Right.
What do you
And
think?
it's uncanny that the last time we spoke, it was the same thing about like taking it one step, and I keep going. It's like one step forwards and two steps backwards.
I know that, but all I can just keep telling you is give you this advice.
Yeah.
Have you got my email address?
I
Take my
don't-
email address, please, and
Okay.
email. How about that first step? Very first step is do that. My name,
Sounds-
Robina Courtin, ROBINA, COURTIN, at
Yes.
Mac, like the computer, at mac.com. How about that?
Okay.
I've got a West End director friend and a Broadway director friend. I could put you onto him if you like. He might give you some advice. What do you think?
Sounds fabulous.
Well,
Yes.
you email me, sweetie pie.
Yes, will do.
Okay.
With my pictures and with the resume.
Good. No, just do first. Email me first. That's your very first step. Then get your thing together. Make yourself look pretty. Take your photos. Write your resume, and let me see those. Okay. And just the other voices are there. Tell them to piss off and listen to this voice one step at a time. Just keep saying that one. You can do it, sweetheart. You've got potential. You can do it. I guarantee you. But you have to believe. But one step at a time. Humble step, and that's your first step. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Thank you.
Good,
Yes.
sweetheart. John Trob, Semtrog, Nepoche, Ma Kie Panam, Kie Guchig, Kie Panyam Pa Me Pa Yang, Gong Ne, Gong Ju, Paba Shog. And maybe never give up, everybody, including Keisha. Give up, not give up, not give up, not give up. Pick us up and just keep moving. Please, everybody. All right, sweethearts. Much love. Thank you. Bye.